welcome to the In the Game Room podcast. Tonight I want to talk to you guys about something that I've been thinking about lately, and it relates mainly to the game that I'm playing right now, Bolt Action, but it probably relates to a lot of other game systems too, and that is different forces of different levels of proficiency or strength or quality or whatever your game system calls it. For example, in Bolt Action, all of the troops are either inexperienced, regular, or veteran. And depending on which one of those they are, they have different advantages or disadvantages or strengths or whatever you want to call it. Especially when it comes to things like morale checks or activation checks, things like that. The more experienced they are, the easier it is for them to pass those. Also, the more experienced they are, the harder it is to be killed. Because, you know, maybe they're better at evading or better at, you know, using cover, they're just better. So I've often wondered what it would be like to find out how much better they are than, say, veterans versus regular, or veterans versus inexperienced, or inexperienced versus regular. Because there's a cost difference. A lot of game systems use a system of cost where you purchase your army, so to speak, based on, you know, what each individual unit costs, and you set a point value, like say I want to play a 300-point game or a 500-point game or a 1,000-point game or whatever, and then you pick your, you know, your forces based on that. And if you buy veteran units in Bolt Action, they cost more, so you get fewer of them. The idea is you need fewer of them because they're so much better. So having the level of experience I have with Bolt Action, I want to find out how true that is, that veteran units are that much better than regular. When I've been playing any of the conventions I've been playing, or any of the games I played with my friends, or Chris, my employee, Hayden, or anyone else, we pretty much just throw out regulars on both sides and kind of keep it even and just play a game and be done with it. So what I've done tonight here is I'm going to show you the forces that I've assembled here, but what I've done is I've created two 300-point armies. 300 is kind of a weird number, but it's just what I came up with by getting a couple of squads of veteran German SS troops and then just figuring out how many points it was, and then getting a US regular, US Airborne troops at regular, enough of those to get up to 300 points. So I just got two evenly pointed sides, but as you're going to see when I start showing you, you know, what they all have, the German side is way smaller than the American side, but in some cases, or no, not in some cases, in all cases, they actually get a whole lot more shots. So I'll explain that in just a minute. So what I'm going to find out here is if a smaller, better unit can really take on a larger, not as good unit. And it'll be interesting to find that out. The other thing that happens when you do this is you also get an imbalance in the order dice. My American side has four. Let me see. No, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Has five order dice on the American side, and I have 3 order dice on the German side. So if you don't play Bolt Action, you might not understand what that means. All of these order dice go into the bag at the beginning of the game, and you draw them out randomly. So in a game turn, the Germans are going to get 3 activations because they only have 3 units, and the Americans are going to get 5 activations because they have 5 smaller units. So it's going to be real interesting to see how that dynamic affects which side does better. So let me show you exactly what the units are and explain to you basically how you end up with 2 very different units with the exact same point value within a couple of points. I think one of them is 300 and the other one's like 297 or something, but they're very, very close enough for what we're doing here. So let's take a look at the units, and then we'll get started. So we're going handheld here for a minute. I'm going to show you the German units, and there are 3 separate squads here. The middle one is a medium machine gun team, 3 guys, and that makes for one activation die, and they are veteran just like everybody else. Next one over here is a squad of 7 guys, NCO with an assault rifle, 4 regular dudes with assault rifles, and 2 guys with regular rifles. So this unit is going to get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's going to get 12 dice when it shoots as a unit. So that's pretty impressive, because the assault rifles get 2 shots per turn, the rifles get a single. So they're getting 12 dice. That's going to be a pretty good force. The other force over here is exactly the same. It's NCO with an assault rifle, 4 guys with assault rifles, and 2 regular rifles. So they're going to get 12 dice also. And then of course the medium machine gun, due to the Hitler's buzzsaw rule, gets 6 shots. Maybe it's 6, no, I think it's the, I'll have to check that. Maybe it's the light machine gun that gets Hitler's buzzsaw. But anyways, whatever the case is, the medium machine gun gets 6 dice. So that's pretty impressive too. But as you can see, it's a fairly small force, but they're veterans. There's a lot of assault rifles. I think it's going to be a pretty good, nasty force to try to take on. Now, what's taking on the force? Well, that will be the Americans, the Airborne. So we have a unit here with 5 guys with rifles and 1 BAR. So that's 6 dice when they're firing. That's 6 dice versus 12 on one of the German units. This one over here is, I'm not sure if this one has the BAR or not. It doesn't. So this is just 6 guys with rifles. Another, did I say this one was 6 dice? It's actually 7. It's 5 plus 2 is 7. So this is just 6 guys with rifles. That's 6 dice. This is just 6 guys with rifles. That's also 6 dice. And then over here, again, like the first unit, it's 5 guys with rifles and 1 BAR. So that's 7 dice. And then of course there's the MMG team, which the American medium machine gun gets 5 shots. So just in the number of shots the Americans can take in a turn versus the number of shots the Germans can take in a turn, I think we're just about dead even. I'll have to look at that and do the math, but I think they're pretty good there. But the one thing that seems to be an advantage on the American side, we'll see if it is or not, is that there's 5 distinct separate units, so it gives you a little more maneuver possibilities and tactic possibilities, where on the German side there's only 3 units. So we're going to see how that plays out. And as you can see here, each one of these units has its own order die. So again, there's going to be 5 on the American side and only 3 on the Germans. So the Americans will be moving more often, but with less guys and less effective guys. So we'll see how that turns out. So what I'm going to do now is turn off the camera and go through the first couple of turns, because they're pretty far apart on the board here now. So the first couple of turns are just going to be run orders, and they're going to be getting the guys up close where they can do something. So that's a little boring. Once I get to a point where there's some sort of action firing at each other, that's when I'll turn the camera back on, and I'll let you guys, see how that plays out sort of live as it happens, and we'll see what the results are. Alright, so at the end of turn 1, the Germans have advanced one of their rifle squads up here. They're in soft cover. They've advanced their second one here. You can't see it, it's behind a building, but it's also behind a shrub there. And the medium machine gun team is just here. The Americans have moved one rifle squad up here. I think you can see where that is. One right here in the street, another one here in this street, another one here, and the medium machine gun team moved up into this corner where it's in soft cover, and I'm pretty sure he's just going to stay there. So that's the end of turn 1. Of course, nothing exciting because nobody's in range yet to do anything, so we're going to pick up the dice and start turn 2. Okay, we're into turn number 2. We're not through with it yet, but I think we've actually gotten into a situation where there can be some firing. So this brings up an interesting rules question, probably. these guys on an advance just moved 6 inches. I was hoping, without measuring ahead, I was hoping that they would be close enough that on an advance they could fire their assault weapons at these guys. The assault rifles have a range of 18 inches. Now this is where the rules question comes in, and I'm pretty sure we're okay on this. The distance between this lead guy and that lead guy is 18 inches. I'm pretty sure that means the entire squad can shoot the entire squad. It's not where, you know, only this guy can only shoot that guy. So I'm going to have to clarify that, but for this demonstration I'm going to play it as if that's the rule, because this guy to this guy is 18 inches. So they moved, so there should be a -1 to hit. However, they're assault rifles, and the assault rifle rule is you don't take that -1, but they are more than half range, so they take a -1 for that. So they're going to be 4 or more to hit. So we're going to go ahead and roll that and see what happens. So we have 2 regular rifles. They definitely have the range. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 assault rifles, and they have the range. The 2 regular rifles are going to take a range penalty because they're I'm sorry, I said they're going to take a range penalty. They're not going to take a range penalty. They're going to take the range penalty for being more than half, but they're also going to take the penalty for the fact that they moved. They don't have that assault weapon rule that says you ignore the -1 on an advance. So they're going to roll separately, just 2 shots. So I'm going to go ahead and roll that right now and see what we got. I'll just do the two regular rifles first. Normally it would be a 3 to hit. It's 4 for range. It's 5 for having moved. So 2 rolls of a 5 or better. 1 hit. They're regular troops, so they kill on a 4. And they did not die. So the assault rifles, there's 5, that's 10 dice. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 dice. They take a -1 for being more than half range. They do not take a -1 for moving because they're assault rifles. So it's a 4 or more to hit. 10 dice. This is probably going to be a little bit brutal. There's a 4. There's a 6. There's a 4. That's 3 hits. 3 hits. They die on 4s. Nobody dies. Oh my goodness. But they do take a pin, and we'll do that, and then I'm going to go ahead and continue the rest of the move. Okay, so the very next die out of the bag after that last one with the Germans here was an American die. So I gave these guys here a fire activation. I rolled their morale check with the 1 modifier for the pin, and they passed. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4. They've got 5 guys with rifles and 1 guy with a BAR. So that's 7 shots. They haven't moved, so there's no modifier for that. But there's a -1 modifier for being more than half range for the rifles and for the BAR. So that's 7 shots at 4s or better. And 1, 2, 3. 3 hits. To kill a veteran is a 5 or more. So we got to roll 5s or 6s to kill. And I rolled 1 6. So they take the pin and we remove a guy, because there's 2 guys on this team that have regular rifles. That's obviously who we're going to pick to die. A regular rifleman. So the badass SS guys are taking first blood. Alright, so the next dice out of the bag was an American, and this unit here moved from here to here, 6 inches, half their movement on an advance. So they're going to get to fire at these Germans. Because of the type of weapons they have and the fact that they're Americans, they do not take a -1 for advancing. So all they get is a -1 for range. All of the rifles are more than half of their total range, and they're just normal rifles. So there's 2, 4, 6 of them. So that's 6 dice. 3, 4, 5, 6. Normally 3 to hit, 4s because of range. These guys out of the way. So we need 4s. We got 2 6s, a 5, and a 4. That is pretty damn good. So 4 hits, and we need 5s or more to kill veterans. And a single 5. So they take another casualty and another pin. So of course the last 2 dice out of the bag were Americans, and there was a squad right here that moved into this building on a run order. So that gets them up to the second floor, or the first floor above the ground floor. So I've got them split up between the ground floor and the first floor because it's a very small building, but that's fine. And the other group was here, and they moved up in between the 2 buildings. So that's the end of turn number 2. I'm going to put the dice back in the bag, and we'll start the next turn. Alright, so at the end of that turn I was putting the dice back in the bag, and I realized that I had overlooked something, and that is that this German medium machine gun here is in ambush, and the Americans that ran to get in between these 2 buildings ran right across his field of view, so I have to go back and take some shots. And it looks to me like, I'm just checking, but I know it's 6 shots. Yeah, medium machine gun gets 6 shots, 36-inch range. So I'll have to measure, but I think they might be over half. Yes, they are over half, so he's going to take a -1 for range, so he needs 4s to hit. But he's got 6 shots. There's 6 guys there, so the odds are somebody's going down. So we need 4 or better. All we got was 1 5. And to kill regular, it's again a 4, a 5. One guy's dead, and they take a pin as well. So now we can move on to turn 3. Alright, so the first die out of the bag on this turn was American, and in keeping with my play aggressive mantra, or whatever you want to call it, I moved these guys up on an advance, 6 inches. Now they are less than half range from the Germans, so they'll be firing at full strength because they're Americans. They advance, so they don't take a -1 for the advance, and they're within half range, so they're firing at full strength. They have no pins, nothing to check, so it's just 2, 4, 6, just 6 rounds at 3s or better. And roll right here in the street. 3s or better. There's a 6, a 6, a 3. So I have 3 hits. Veterans, harder to kill, so I need 5s to kill. And I got 2 6s. Ooh, so 2 more SS troopers are dead, and they take another pin. So far, they're not proving to be worth the money because they're just dying. So let's give them another pin, take 2 guys off, and then we'll move on. So the next die out of the bag was American, and I wanted to advance these guys up and also fire on what's left of this squad here. However, they failed their morale check, and with only 1 pin, they did nothing. They went down. So the next die out of the bag was Germans. There was a group of Germans hiding behind the building here, and they moved ahead to this position, hiding behind that building. And while they were doing that, this American medium machine gun here in ambush would have shot at them. So I have 5 dice ready to go. They're in ambush. They have no pins, so there's no morale check to have there. What am I doing here? So it's just barely over 18 inches, so they're more than half. So their shots, normally 3 to hit, are going to become 4s. And there are 2 hits. We need 5s or more to kill veterans, and we got neither. So they do take a pin, and that's it, and they're safe where they are. Okay, so a couple of things have happened. 2 more American order dice came out. This unit that's here was in between the buildings. On a run order they got here, passed their morale check, shed a pin, so now they have no pins. The other American order die that came out was for the guys that are inside here. I have really nothing to do with them, so I just gave them an ambush order. And the third die to come out and last die was for the Germans. And I issued these guys a fire order, rolled his morale check, which was a 10, -3 for 3 pins. He passed, he sheds a pin, and now he gets to fire. So that's 6 dice at less than or more than. Assault rifles have 18, so they got to be 9. They're over half, so they're going to take a -1 for range, but that's it. So 6 dice. Excuse me. So 6 dice at a -1 for range. That's 4s. Oop. Let's just roll that again. That was stupid. Holy crap. Okay, so that is 4 hits. And on the regular Americans, you need 4 or better to kill. That is 3 kills. That was a good one. So rifle, 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 dead. And of course they take a pin as well. Now there's rules for morale checks when a unit falls below half its original strength. I'm ignoring that for now because I just want this to keep going. I don't want any units to run away. I want to just see how this plays out, you know, ignoring that particular rule, but it is there. So okay, that's the end of that turn. If you're keeping track at home, and I'm not, I think that might have been turn number 4. Okay, so first die out of the bag was an American. Put it here on a fire order. I rolled a morale check. He passed with only 1 pin. He loses that, and now he's firing at these guys. They are within half range. These guys didn't move, so everything is full strength. We need 3s to hit, so only single shot rifles, so 3 dice. 3s are better. Wow, just barely 2 3s. 2 3s and a 2. So we have 2 hits. Veterans, 5 or more to kill. And a 6. So we did kill a veteran, and that gives us another pin. So these guys are up to 3. They're down to 2 guys. And we'll pull another die and see what happens. It's another American. And as long as we're standing here, I am going to move this unit up 6 inches. Oh, they had a pin, so I have to roll. Sorry. They have normally a 9 with 1 pin makes 8 or less. They rolled a 12. They do not pass their check. They go down. They get another pin. And I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've run into this, where I rolled 2 6s on a morale check. That brings up the Fubar Rule. So, I have to open the book and see what it says. Have to roll a d6, see what happens to these guys. I rolled a 5. I don't think that's good. 3, 4, 5, or 6 unit executes a run order and must move as fast as possible away from the closest visible enemy unit. And then it goes down. Wait a minute. No, I think I read ahead here. If no enemy units are visible, it just goes down instead. So it executes a run order and runs away. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so the next die out of the bag was a German. I am going to put that on this unit here on an advance. They have 1 pin. So they needed a 8 or less to pass. I just rolled an 8, so they passed, and they lose that pin. Now they're going to move up behind this tree. The way we use our rules here is the entire base of the tree is considered shrubberies and plants and things like that. So if you're behind the base of a tree, you're in soft cover. So that's where these guys are going to move. They're all going to come up here around this tree. And fire through. So give me just a second here. Okay, so they've moved up here on an advance order, and therefore they can fire at these guys here. On the assault rifles, they are more than half range now. For the 2 regular rifles, they are less than half range. So I'm going to fire two rifles first at full strength. They moved, so there's a -1, so we need 4s to hit, and didn't. Now all of the assault rifles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 10 dice. This is where it should get pretty brutal. 10 dice. They don't take a penalty for moving because of the assault rifle rule, but they do take a penalty for more than half range, so we need 4s. And I see a 6, a 4, a 5, a 5, a 4, and a 4. So that is 6 hits on 3 guys. So we got a pretty good chance here of rolling 4s or better to kill. And holy crap, just 1. Rolled 1, 6. So 1 guy goes away. And they take a pin. Those last 2 guys. Alright. Next die out of the bag is an American. So we are going to be more aggressive because we got some work to do here. I'm going to move right up here, face to face with this SS on an advance. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dice because the BAR fires twice. 2, 4, 6. Americans do not take a penalty for moving on an advance, so it's a straight 3 to hit. It's less than half range, obviously, so it's still just a straight 3 to hit. This is going to be a little brutal, and they're firing at this bigger unit here, not the small unit. So, 3s. That seems almost unlikely, but it's what it is. And I suck at rolling. There's a 3 and a 4. So we have 2 hits. Veterans kill on a 5. A single 6. 1 guy with a regular rifle goes away. And they take a pin, where they were previously unpinned. Next die out of the bag. I don't think it takes much imagination to know. Oh, it could be a German. There's 1 of each left, I think. Yep, and it is a German. Okay, so these guys are desperate. They're going fire order. However, they have a little bit of a morale problem. Normally they're at a 10. They have 3 pins, so they're at a 7. They rolled a 6. They pass their morale check and they shed 1 pin, going down to 2. And they have 2 assault rifles. That's 4 dice. Less than half range. They didn't move. Everything's cool, just 3s. And they rolled okay. They got 2 hits, a 6 and a 5. Killing regulars on a 4. And they didn't. So I need another pin marker. Alright, so the last order die out of the bag is an American. And I need to figure out what to do with these guys here, because they are in this building under hard cover. It's a great position, but I don't think they're ever going to get to do anything if they stay here. So might be time to get them out and get them into the fight. I think we can do a run order. Get them right over here. I had these guys distributed between the ground floor and the first floor, but in reality, for game purposes, they were all on the first floor. I just couldn't fit them all. So that's why they can get out and run without having to go downstairs first. So, okay, so that's the end of turn number blah, 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 blah. 5 or 6? 5 maybe. And we'll return the dice and start the next turn. Okay, first die out of the bag is green for Americans. And I've lost my tape measure. I only have like 10 of them here. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna do a fire. Seems sensible. With 1 pin, so he needs an 8 or less to pass morale. He got a 6, so he passes morale and loses the pin. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 rifles and a BAR, or some people like to say a bar. Didn't move. Range is not a problem. It's 3s. And that's a little better. That's 4 hits out of 6. To kill veterans takes 5s. Shit. Nothing but 1s and a 2. But they do take a pin. Good for them. Let's go dice out of the bag. German. Alright, these guys are going to get a little revenge right now. Hopefully. If I can find the fire on the dice. Okay, they have a morale of 10. With 2 pins, they need an 8 or less. Oh, they got an 8. Just. Okay, so they lose a pin. And they get to fire 1 rifle and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 assault rifles. So they're all in range, so it doesn't matter. We can do them all at once. There's 5, 6, 10, 11 dice at 3s. This should be brutal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 hits on 5 guys. 4 or better to kill. A 6, a 5, and a 4. 3 guys. Yep, 3 guys are gone. Okay, and of course, with that kind of mayhem, they take a pin. Again, we probably have to check a morale check now to see if they, you know, say flee because they're below half strength. But I want to just play this out to the end and not do that. Next die out of the bag is an American. These guys are going to go on in advance if they can pass their morale check. Their 9 minus 1 is an 8. 7, we're good. So we're going to go there. The 6 that they're allowed to do. Oh, they did pass the morale check, so they lose that pin. And it just went under the table, so I've lost that pin marker. So they have no penalty for moving. They have no penalty for range. It's just 2 shots at 3s or better. And it's a 6 and a 1, so 1 hit. Did nothing except another pin. That's useful. Alright. Things are moving now. Don't even have to turn the camera off. Okay, so... Oh, this is going to suck for these people. Alright. We're just going to do a fire order right now. I was going to move this guy, but there's no need. This is the German medium machine gun over here. He has a straight line of sight to those Americans that just moved up. If he would have stayed in ambush, he could have shot them as they were moving. But I didn't mention at the end of the last turn, I took both medium machine guns out of ambush because I wanted to move them. But now I see he doesn't need to move. He's got a good clear shot at more than half. So he'll take a penalty of 1 for that. But it's 6 shots at 4. So 5, a 6, a 6, and 2 1s and a 3. So 2 hits. 4s are better to kill regulars. 1 guy dead. And of course we take a pin. So we remove a rifle and go find another pin marker. So they took a pin. Alright, next die out of the bag is a green Americans. Those guys have played. Let's see. Oh, I gotta get these guys back in the game. These guys ran at the last turn, so I'm gonna give them a run order. They have 2 pins, so they need a 7 or less to pass. They got a 6, so they're good. They shed 1 pin, and their run order gets them up 12 inches. Alrighty. Next die is also American. That's gotta be... It's gotta be these guys. 1, 2. Oh, I've got the machine gun as well. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna move the machine gun. And it's gonna have to be a run order. Get him clear over here. So he does not get to fire. Next die is a German. It's got to be these guys, and it's got to be a fire order. But he has 3 pins. On a base 10, he needs a 7 or less. A 6, got it. 2 guys with assault rifles, that's 4 shots. Oh, we gotta shed 1 of these pins. Down to 2. So 4 shots at those 2 guys. Needs 3s. 4, 4, and a 5. That's 3 hits. Need 4s or better to kill. 1 4. So 1 guy's dead. And he takes a pin as well. Alright, and the last die out of the bag is the American, and that's going to be these guys around the corner here. On in advance, if they can pass their morale. So 9 minus 1 is 8 or less. 6, they do pass. So this will be fun. So, oh, they pass their morale, so they lose their pin. Hope I did that right. You guys will catch me if I didn't. Maybe they did lose 1. No, they only had 1, so they lost. Yes, okay, we're good. So we're looking at 5 dice. Normally it would be a -1 for moving, but they're Americans, special rule. That doesn't apply. Range is obviously not a problem. So 5 shots at 3s. Nice, they all hit. However, we need 5s to kill veterans. And we got 1. We got a 6. So, is there a regular rifle left? There is. Ooh, losing a tree. Okay, and they take another pin, they're back up to 2. And no more dice, that is the turn. 6, 7, I don't know. It's a turn. Okay, next turn. First out is an American. We're just going to go with a fire order here. Yeah, I have a problem, I think. There's a rule about firing through your own guys. My machine gun, I think, is fucked on both counts. I don't think he can... I'll have to check the rule, but I might have to do an advance on him and move him over or something. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to do an advance, and he'll take a -1, but I can get him right up to the edge of the table, and now he can shoot at these guys. So American medium machine gun is 5 dice. Range is not a problem, but he takes a -1 for moving, so he needs 4s. Got 2 5s, so we have 2 hits, 5 or more to kill. 2 6s. Woohoo! Nice. That's the first unit eliminated from the board. So we have to pull a German die out, and they're gone. Okay, cool. Next die is American also. These guys haven't shot yet, so yeah, this is going to be the end of the game here, I think, unless something really strange happens. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys firing at a 3 or less, 3 or more, sorry. A 6, a 6, a 6, and a 4. 4 hits on 5s or better to kill. A single 6. So nothing but assault rifles left, so we'll take 1 away. Give them another pin. Next die out of the bag. Also American. Fire order on these guys. They have 1 pin, so he needs 8 or less to pass. 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Loses his pin. Fires 1 rifle, 2 BARs. That's 3 shots at 3s. A single 6 hits. Does not kill, but pins, bringing these guys up to 4 pins. That's evil. Next die out. Also American. Single fire from here. He has 1 pin. Needs an 8 or less to pass. Oh, he did not pass. He goes down. Keeps his pin as well. Next die out. Oh, German finally. The machine gun. The medium machine gun. 6 rounds into those American bastards. Didn't move. There's no cover. There's no anything. No pins. More than half. Oh, it's real borderline. I'm going to say not, just to be fair. There is soft cover. No? Yes, there is soft cover in between. So there's a modifier of 1. So 4s. There's a 6, a 5, and a 4. And a 1, 2, and a 3. Holy shit, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 3 hits. 4s are better to kill. A 4 and a 6. 2 dead. And a pin. There's a fire. Okay. A German. Finally, these guys, if they can pass a morale check, are going to do some firing. So this is going to be tough. Even though they start with 10, they have 4 pins, so they need a 6 or less. And they got a 5. Good for them. 2, 4, 6, 8 rounds. 4, 5, 6. 8 rounds at 3s. They're firing at, well, let's think this through. I think they want to fire at the medium machine gun. And even though that's more than half range, I think it's worth it. Fire 6, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, 8 rounds at the medium machine gun at 4s. Yep. A whole bunch of yep. There's 5 hits. And we need 4s. A 4 and a 6. Yeah, that crew is dead. That was a good move. So we take that die away. Next one out will be the last American. We got to finish this. We're going to move 6 inches on the advance. Oh, I got to roll. Sorry, I got to roll morale check. Always forgetting that. He has 1 pin, so I need an 8 or less. 5. So we got it. So we move all these guys up on an advance. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 shots. Not -1 for moving because they're Americans with the right weapons, but a -1 for range. Pretty sure. Yeah, -1 for range. Maybe not for the BAR. BAR is 30. They're within 15. They're just over 12. So let's roll the 2 BARs first. He's no modifiers at all. 3s. Roll a 6 and a 1. 1 hit. Needs a 5 to kill. Did not kill. The remaining 5 shots are... Hello. The remaining 5 shots are at 4s to hit because of range. Whole bunches of 1s and 3s, so not good. But they do take a pin for that 1 BAR shot that hit and did not kill. That's the end of that turn. Dice in the bag. Not even going to shut off the camera. We'll just keep on playing. So we are almost there. Americans. These 3 guys on a fire. Got to roll morale, 8 or less. Got a 6, they lose their pin. 3 shots, got 3s. 2 hits, need 5s to kill. 1 5. Another one of those guys gone. And another pin. This is going. The pins are gonna win this game. American. 2 shots from here on a fire order. Just 2. Oh, 1's a BAR. So 3 shots at 3s. 2 hits. 5 or more to kill. A 6. Another guy dead. And another pin. For those keeping track at home, they're up to 7 pins. I've never seen that before. An American, fire order, needs a 8 or less to pass morale. He didn't. He rolled a 9. He goes down and keeps his pin. Next die out of the bag. Another American. The Germans are going last this turn. These guys on an advance. We're just going to move up just a couple inches, so they're all within half range. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dice. 2, 4, 6, 7. Just 3s. 5, 4, 5, 3, 3. 5 hits. Needs 5 or better to kill. That's a 1. That's no good. But the 2 5s and 2 6s and a 5 kill this unit. take away his die. And the last order die out of the bag is the machine gun. And he's going to fire, of course. 6 shots at these guys. They were forced to hit. Holy crap, 1 hit out of all that. And a 4 or more to kill, a 3. Nothing but a pin. Alright, that's the end of that turn. I'm moving fast now. Americans. Oh shit. They have nothing to do. They have no work to do here. In advance of 6 inches. Now we got to do a morale check. 8 or better. Did. And lost a pin. Okay. 3 normal rifles at probably more than half. No, I'll say right at half, so we're okay. 3 at 3s. 2 hits. 5s or better to kill. No kills. Machine gun takes a single pin. Another American. These 2 guys on an advance. If I can find the advance. 6 inches. They're going to be firing through soft cover. And it's a BAR and a rifle, so it's 3 rounds at over half range and soft cover, 5s to hit. And a single 5. Did not kill, but adds a second pin. Next die out of the bag. American again, kind of makes sense, there's a lot of them. We're going to have to run these guys, run them on a run, so they can't do anything. Oh, there's one more. Left one guy behind. Next die out of the bag. Shit, another American. Oh, we got a roll. Sorry. 8 or less for morale. 6, 7, 8. Got it. So he sheds a pin. He only had one. He's going to do a run. 12 inches. Got to get in the habit of doing that. There we go. And look at that. It's the German. He has 2 pins. He's issuing a fire. So he needs an 8 or less. Pass morale. 6, 7, 8, 9. He does not. He goes down, but it doesn't matter. It turns over. Alright, we're going to finish this. Definitely going to finish it now. I keep saying that, but I think it's over now. Oh, German, first shot. Good for him. Fire. He has 2 pins, so he needs an 8 or less. Ooh, he did not. He goes down, which will be helpful, but it may not save his ass. Alright, so all the dice left are Americans, so let's just start with these guys on a fire order. 1, 2, 3 shots at half range or less, so they're full strength with no cover, but they're down. And down is a -2, so we got 3 shots at 5s. There's a single 6, and so we need a 5 or better to kill. You got a 6. One guy's dead. Since they're all on one stand, I'm just going to mark the dead by a single die. Okay. Next, unit is these guys on an advance, just to get them closer. Move up 6. So they're firing through soft cover at a unit that's down. They need 6s. They didn't get any 6s. So they're done. Next unit. This might be the one to do it. This is tough. This is tough. We're getting into that situation of firing through your own guys again. And they have to be an inch away from another unit. So I may not, let's see. Alright, we're just going to move on in advance just a couple of inches. I'm going to have to do some real reading on the shooting through your own troops, because I mean now I have a hole right through the middle, but I don't know if there's a distance, I think, between the line of fire to the left and to the right that matters, but since I don't know, I'm just going to go ahead and do this anyways. I don't think I can even hit. We have 3 -1 for soft cover, 4 -2 for being down is 6, and -1 for being over, so I need 7s. So I need 6s twice in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I have 7 dice, so I might as well try it. 7 dice, 6s in a row. I got 0 6s, so nothing happened there. Okay, so the last die. Watch this be the one that does it. A single guy with a single rifle. He's moving 6 inches on an advance to there, and he's got a clear shot right through there. So he's at 3, nothing for movement. How about range? So -1 for range and -2 for down. Needs 6. Come on, you got a 5. Pretty close. All right, so that, and that. So this time we're going to finish it. He said, "Oh, German's got the first die out of the bag. That's good." So as long as he has 2 guys on his weapon, he fires at full strength. If he loses another guy, he'll be firing at a -1, and then if they lose a 3rd guy, it's all over, Johnny. So he's firing full strength at this unit here, less than half range, no cover there. So he's firing 6 rounds at 3s, and that is 3 hits, 4 or better to kill, and a single kill, and of course a pin marker in case we need it later. Okay, so all the rest of the dice are Americans. 1, 2, 3, 4 units. It doesn't matter what order I do them in because nobody else gets a move, so I'm gonna go ahead and fire this guy again. He needed a 6. Oh, they're not down now, so he needs a 4. He needs a 4 to hit. He did. He needs a 5 to kill. He didn't, but that's a pin. I think the last time he fired, I didn't do a morale check to see if it even happened, but that's my mistake, so there we go. These guys on a fire with no movement. You have a single pin, 8 or less. Rolled a 3, we're good. 2 rifle shots at 3s. A 6 and a 3, that's 2 hits. I need 5s to kill. A 6. 2 guys are dead. That means this guy can still fire, but he fires at a -1. Okay, we're going to do a fire from this guy. It's a rifle and a BAR. 3 minus 1 for soft cover. Nothing for range, so we need 4s. We got a 4 and a 6. 5s to kill. Not killed. But another pin. These guys here are going to do their same fire, more than half range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dice. 2, let's see, 2, 4, 5, yeah, 6 dice. And they're more than half range and soft cover, so we need 5s. And that's good. We got 2 5s and a 6, so we need 5s to kill. A 5 and a 6, that unit is dead, and the game is over. So what did we learn today? We learned that more expensive veteran units are very good, but maybe not better. The numbers you get in a regular unit versus the numbers you get in a veteran unit might be to the advantage of the regular unit, because there's just that many more guys and that many more squads, which gives you more tactical options and things like that. That being said, I mean, a lot of this just comes down to luck when you're rolling dice. So if I played this same exact game again, it might come out completely the other way, and I might have done something stupid on one side or the other. I tried to play this both sides as if I was trying to win, so I don't think I threw anything. But the Americans did end up with a fair number of guys left and 3 dice on the table. They lost 2 order dice in the whole game, so that's something. So it was fun. All games are fun, so it doesn't really matter who won or who loses, especially when I'm the only guy playing. I won. No matter who lost, I won. So interesting. I think given the choice in a game of this size, I think I would stick with regulars. The veterans didn't seem to be worth it. When a veteran unit came on and it was throwing 12 dice at once, that was kind of exciting for a second, but then when there's 2 or 3 regular units converging on that one unit, they didn't survive. So there you go. Take from this whatever you want. Whoever wins, whoever loses, it was still a good time, so whatever, doesn't matter. But I think I've proven to myself that more order dice and more guys, for me, seems to be a better formula than less order dice, less guys that are better. But that's just me. Your mileage may vary, as they say. So there you go. That's it for tonight.